Hey folks, Realosity with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. This is my top 10 underappreciated sports movies, where I want to say this. Some of these may be critically acclaimed, some people may still like them. Some people may talk about them as far as ones that watch sports movies. But to me, these are ones that tend to be forgotten about as being really, really, really good. I mean, Brian's song is not on here because that one was, of course, very critically acclaimed. Not Hoosiers, probably if not one of, if not the most iconic basketball movie of all time, at least theatrically. And no ESPN 30 for 30 films are on here. If I wanted to make that, I mean, I could just make a top 10 best ESPN 30 for 30 movies, which have really been good, by the way. A lot of those are on Netflix, or at least currently. I would recommend checking those out. They're really, really good. And if you have Hulu, check that out. Also, and I can't wait for the one that they're going to do about Ric Flair. I'm actually recording this on the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. So, and I think that's on the 7th, so by the time this gets, put up, I may have already seen it. But right now I'm looking really forward to it. In fact, I'll have to set my DVR just to watch it. But anyway, sports movies. I admit that I'm not the biggest sports movie nut as I am of other genres, but I appreciate a good sports movie. And these are 10 that I feel people should give a look to. Ones that may be critically acclaimed and audiences may still enjoy, but I think deserve, another look because of how good they are. Number 10, Heaven Can Wait. Yes, pretty popular, and of course, launched a couple careers. Really, very, very well-known one, came out in 1978, very good stuff. It, little less of a sports movie, and a little more of a thing of self-discovery, guy trying to coming back to try and find his killer. But Heaven Can Wait had that good sports theme and had a really good journey of self-discovery and stuff like that, and trying to find out why this stuff happened. It was a good sports movie, and it was a little bit of a good whodunit. It really worked on both levels. So yeah, Heaven Can Wait, well known, but I think deserves a look. Yeah, okay, some of the styles and everything are dated and stuff like that, but I still really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's been a couple years since I watched it, but I've seen it twice. The last time I watched it, I remember thinking, this deserves a lot more attention. So Heaven Can Wait is number 10. Number 9, Mr. Baseball, starring Tom Selleck's mustache, co-starring Tom Selleck. I really enjoyed this one. It's a baseball player. He goes over to Japan, and he doesn't want to, but he ends up becoming pretty successful in Japan. And he almost breaks a home run record, but then he decides not to because he decides to do it for the better of the team. But I really, it's cheesy, it's silly, but I really enjoyed this one. I thought that, Tom Selleck played his role fine. The other cast members, of course, played their role fine. It was a typical sports movie, but it captured the baseball theme very well. I thought it was very nice how they did that. And of course, the explosion of Japanese baseball, especially in the 90s. I mean, obviously it existed before that, but this was really, really good. I really enjoyed this stuff. I really enjoyed watching Mr. Baseball. I thought Tom Selleck was fabulous in this movie. I thought, for what it was, no, not the greatest baseball movie ever made, but this is one that's underappreciated and I think really deserves a couple looks, because I liked it. I liked it, and I think Tom Selleck's a really good actor. Killing it on Blue Bloods still. Blue Bloods is a great show to check out as well. Number 8, Any Given Sunday. One of the few Oliver Stone movies. It doesn't make me want to punch Oliver Stone in the face repeatedly. I believe Alexander would be that. Alexander. It didn't matter if it was Oliver Stone's fault or any other director that did it. It was a shit movie. But Any Given Sunday really, the football cam and the way they captured that action on the field. And Jamie Foxx and Dennis Quaid and huge names that were in that movie at the time. It came out in 1999. I really appreciated the just grittiness and the impact of the football footage. I really like that stuff. I thought it was a good way to show how marketing really goes a long way in the NFL, and that if somebody is marketable, even if they have really good skills, they could get eaten alive by the machine. It was loud. It was boisterous. It was even close to a bit obnoxious. But it was good. It was a really good sports movie. It Sure, the music placement was a little weird and stuff like that, but I love the football action, and I thought that it was really cool how they showed everything of like the rise and fall of various players and the cutthroat business that was the NFL. It was good stuff. It was one of the few Oliver Stone movies I enjoyed. It was really enjoyable. It was one of the finest underappreciated sports movies that I've seen. I Even with as loud as it was really good. That football action, camera work, brilliantly done. Number 7, Remember the Titans. Okay, so tackling racism in a PG environment, not exactly the easiest thing to do. You cut out a lot of words, which is good because I hate that one word. That one word black people are called. I'm not even going to say it. Because being a former racist, I have called people that. I'm not excusing it. That was back in my teenage years. I changed. I changed the way I was. I actually had a black friend that came out to me that made me change my mind. I know. It's just getting a little serious. I'm sorry, but it changed the way I saw things, and I realized that being racist and homophobic wasn't going to suit me at all. That aside, Remember the Titans, great movie. Denzel Washington, Will Patton, two two great actors were in that. Of course, Denzel's better than Will Patton, but that's nothing against Will Patton, who's really had some great roles. Remember the Titans was fantastic. Good football action. With they told the story of the racism as good as they could. I can't say it was the best thing ever, but Denzel really just was the central piece of that movie. I mean, what was great about it is just watching him, you know, really draw you into that movie. I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. And by the way, folks, my producer just got let in, so let's add a little bit of lightness to this. 1 second. Hey, sir. This is Sir. I had him called Tiger before, but this is Sir. Hi. He didn't Remember the Titans. I don't think he remembers it well. Okay, there you go. Anyway, so Remember the Titans was a really fun sports movie. Fantastic, good football action. Tackled this story as good as it could in a PG environment. I just wish that they would have done some better. They would have made it PG-13, because it's really hard to tackle the story of racism that way. 1 second, folks. Okay, folks, quick break. Had to let the producer back out. Very odd catch. But anyway, Remember the Titans is a very good movie. Really enjoyable. Really appreciated what they tried to do. I wish it had been rated a little bit, like PG-13. I'm not saying it should have been rated R, but just PG-13, something like that. But hey, they did the best they could with it. And it was good stuff. Even if it was a little toned down, in fact, a lot toned down. It was still good for what it was, and the casting was pitch perfect. Not the movie, pitch perfect, even though Anna Kendrick is absolutely gorgeous. Number 6, Angels in the Outfield. Disney. It was hammy, it was ridiculous. It was like the idea that Angels were helping the LA Angels at the time, because I don't think they were the Anaheim Angels yet, get to a championship. Could they get to a championship? And yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Christopher Lloyd is one of the Angels, and the idea was they were helping, the Angels win. And it was silly, it was ridiculous, but it's like the one part of the movie that still sticks out in my mind, and it was a fun movie to the point, where it's like it captured the baseball action pretty well. No, Major League is not on here. It's Major League's talked about. It's pretty good. And everything. Rookie of the Year is not on here because, sorry, that was pretty silly. The Angels in the Outfield, and I'm not saying it was like a great serious piece, but the way they did it was really good. Because like the ending, or one of the ending sequences in particular, like one of the pictures, I'm sorry, spoiler alert here. Spoiler. But the movie's 21 years old. Sorry, it's going to be talked about. The pitcher that's pitching there, he's like out of gas and this kind of stuff. He wanted to pitch a complete game, but he's out of gas, and they decided to leave him in because he was going to die of, like, I think lung cancer. He was going to die of some kind of cancer within the next few months. But then they left him in, and he had this one part where ball got hit, and he managed to catch it. It popped out of his glove, and he caught it, and it's like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it because it was a really cool sports moment. But he catches it and puts it in his glove, and they win the game, and big moment and everything at the end. It was really, really cool. It's nice stuff. I thought that was a pretty cool moment. Okay, it was a little hokey, it was a little cheesy being PG, and yeah, 1996, it was a bit of a weird year for movies, but this was fun. It was a fun movie, and it captured the sports theme pretty well. And also the thing of like, hey, you don't know when your talent's going to be snuffed out. Got to make the most of your moments. Number 5, Coach Carter. Samuel L. Jackson made this damn movie. He was great. He was great as Coach Carter. Really captured like getting the toughness of it and doing these great things for these kids and showing these kids life is not going to be all doom and gloom. It's not going to be all roses, but I'm going to teach you right, and I'm going to teach you the right way to do things. You are going to do things my way, and it's going to work. And it worked. Okay, they learned some life lessons. It was really good stuff. Let's move on from that. Coach Carter was a lot of fun. Number 4, Friday Night Lights. Ranked a little low. This is better than the TV series. Friday Night Lights, though, was a lot of fun. It showed how you can't always win every game, but you can win the right ones. And winning isn't everything. It's the only thing, but this is one where it's lessons learned in defeat, but you can still win some big games. Texas football, my God, Texas football's huge. Really, from the pee-wee level on up to the pros. It is amazing how dedicated the people of Texas, and shout out to the people of Texas for being as dedicated as you are to football. Good job, guys. You guys are really, really good with how dedicated you are to football. Friday Night Lights captures that really, really well. I really enjoyed Friday Night Lights. The spirit of football, the passion that people had for it. Sure, some people will screw up and everything, and not every team can win no team is going to win every game. But boy, it shows how, some rules are broken, some rules are upheld, but it captures a lot of the really good layered amount of sports. And it's really good. Casting's really good. Everything around it is really, really good. And this often gets swept under the rug because people remember the series more. This is better. The movie's better. Not that the series is bad, but the movie's better. Number 3, Space Jam. Okay, wait. I know that it's considered an animated movie, even though it's got live action actors. The thing about it is a lot of people forget it's actually a really good sports movie. It's got Michael Jordan in it, obviously, so obviously the sports tie is going to be there. But it's got a really good sports theme about it. It's often remembered as an animated movie first and a sports movie second. I think it should be remembered as a sports movie first. The Looney Tunes are, of course, great. Michael Jordan, I don't know why Michael didn't do some more movies. They should have done a Space Jam 2 soon after. They should have done a Space Jam 2 in 2000 when his star was still hot. And sorry, they shouldn't have LeBron James in Space Jam 2. I don't care how good LeBron James is. Not a chance. This is the one and true Space Jam. I don't even know if a sequel would necessarily work. But Space Jam is one of those where it's timeless. It's a timeless movie. The sports aspect of it is silly, but it also works. It captures the whole thing of needing to be the best. Michael Jordan proving why he's the best, beating these giant and pumped up animated characters, which is absolutely silly, but it works really, really well. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cough here, but Space Jam is often forgotten about as a really good sports movie as opposed to an animated movie. Now, maybe I should have ranked Space Jam at number 10, and maybe you might think that Friday Night Lights is better than Space Jam as a sports movie, and you wouldn't be wrong there, but I think Space Jam gets forgotten about as being a good to great sports movie also. And maybe that's just me looking to rose tinted glasses with nostalgia. Number 2, The Express. All the talent in the world being great in college and having it yanked away from you because of illness. That pretty much sums up The Express. The Express is a spectacular movie. Spectacular movie of a life where people, it's like where a player had all these great gifts and unfortunately his health issues got in the way. And that's really, really sad. Read up on the story of, the express and the story behind it. I encourage that. I can't do it justice by going into details about it, but it's just the football action's great. Him winning people over despite being a black man at the time period the film took place at. It was great. It was great. It was very heart wrenching at the end. Knowing what's coming, it was just very heart wrenching at the end. It was really good stuff. I mean, and yeah, it was critically praised, and audiences seemed to enjoy it. But it was another one that it just as quickly as it came, it seemed to get swept under the rug, and I just don't get that because this is a great tale of appreciating what you have, because you never know when it's going to be taken away for whatever reason. And number one, Varsity Blues. Yes, Varsity Blues, better than Friday Night Lights. Fight me. It's better. Probably one of the best MTV movies that MTV ever produced. Killer soundtrack. My favorite Green Day song actually took place on this soundtrack. Nice Guys Finish Last. James Van Der Beek was wonderful in it. Paul Walker was in it. Ali Larter was in it. A huge cast. Huge cast of people, some up and coming, some people that were, cast, you go in on the star that they already had. This was in the midst of the Dawson Creek phase, and Craze and everything that I only watched first 2 seasons of. Why I watched it, I don't know. Oh yeah, I wanted to see if James Van Der Beek and Katie Holmes' characters got together. And they did for a bit. Hooray! Varsity Blues is just great. It was great. I thought the football action was really underrated. They all went out and partied and drank and stunk up a game. Oh, that's what's going to happen? John Boyd, I believe, was the coach, if I remember right. And he was a bit crazy and a bit vile in it. But that's how dedicated you had to be. There's another thing about Texas football. James Van Der Beek's accent maybe wasn't all that great. But, the southern accent was a little silly. But this movie had really good football action, some really good acting. I think a pretty good emotional story to it. I mean, even if it was a little by the numbers, I think Varsity Blues was a damn good sports movie. Damn good sports movie with some good depth, some underrated depth. Good soundtrack, good cast. I really appreciate it. Anyway, that's what I gotta say. So thank you guys for putting up with my health issues, and for seeing my producer and everything, and me pausing to let my producer out. Really appreciate you guys for watching. I got more movie countdowns coming up and some more stuff that I'm going to be talking about later in the year and also in December. So anyway, do you guys agree, disagree with what I said? Now again, underappreciated, underrated sports movies. That doesn't mean that these movies are bad. It just means I think they deserve more attention than they've gotten, especially from audiences. Anyway, do you disagree? Do you agree? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Twitter link is in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.